tips to connect with your teen. Welcome back, everyone. You know, the teen years can be a tough time for the whole family, but this is a time that is critical for you to connect with them. Today, we get advice on how to do that from the author of this award-winning book, My Feet Aren't Ugly. Author and mentor Debra Beck is here with more. Thanks so much for coming in today. Good to have you back.
Thanks for having me.
Let's first of all just talk about how you started mentoring teens and adults and teaching people how to connect.
Well, I was a pretty tormented teen myself. And so I think that through that experience, I really just wanted to help teens. And I thought it was exclusive to me until I had 2 daughters of my own. And then I realized, oh my gosh, this isn't exclusive to me at all, that a lot of teens go through it. And so I started mentoring teens and then realized that if I wasn't mentoring the parents as well, I was kind of in no man's land. And that's when I really shift things, when I mentor both the teen and the parent.
It makes a big difference. And you say it really hits teenage girls hardest. I know I have a niece that, you know, that has gone through it, and it's a tough time.
It's a really tough time. I just noticed that with girls, they seem to wear their emotions more out there.
Yeah.
You know.
Let's talk about the title of your book.
Okay.
How did you come up with that?
Well, actually, I used to live in Phoenix, and it was summertime, and I was really crushing on a boy that was 13, and he kept looking at my feet. We were outside talking, and all of a sudden he was like, you have the ugliest feet I've ever seen in my life. And I was like crushed. I was like, you're kidding. And then I was at the river about, you know, I didn't wear open-toed shoes for a year in Phoenix. And then I was at the river with some friends, and a friend said, oh, you have the prettiest feet, Deb. And I'm like, how can that be?
Isn't it amazing, though? One comment can make a huge, huge difference.
It's true.
So let's talk about how parents can stay connected with their teens and get in touch with these emotions that they're feeling.
Well, the biggest thing that I think a parent can do is just stepping into their reality. I think a lot of times what happens is parents really react to situations. And instead of reacting, maybe step back, take a breath, and then just kind of step into their reality and see how they're feeling. And then they get a chance, the teen, to be heard, which is really critical for teens. They just need to be heard most of the time. They don't need to be fixed.
How can we improve their self-esteem? What are some things that we can do on a day-to-day basis to help keep that connection and keep that self-esteem?
Well, I think loving them unconditionally, just loving them for who they are instead of trying to fix them and make them something that you want them to be. Just see what they bloom into, and just loving them unconditionally is critical.
Yeah, it's really hard for parents, though, because if your teen comes to you with a problem, the first thing you want to do is just say, here's what you need to do, and you need to do it now. And
fix them.
But right now, they are bombarded with what they need to do with Facebook and technology.
Yes.
So what can we do?
You know, just by stepping into their reality. You know, I have an online program that really helps parents step into their reality, and then helps parents also learn how to manage, you know, teach the kids how to manage their lives, which is really important.
Yeah, you say there's actually 4 weeks. You can do this in 4 weeks. You learn how to connect with your teen. Step 1 is to get into their reality.
Step into their reality.
And then teaching them to manage their life. What do you mean by that?
Instead of, like, you know, when kids are younger, you have to tell them what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. Then there's a certain age where they just don't want you to do that anymore. And so you need to know when to back off and start letting them make mistakes and manage their own life, and then ask them questions about it. So how did that work out for you, you know, when it didn't work out? And let them start making decisions and let them make mistakes.
All right, what about boundaries? Because that's your third step.
Yes, it's just for them parents to set boundaries. It's really important for teens to have boundaries, but also for teens to be able to have boundaries. The biggest complaint that teens have is that their parents just barge into their room, and that they're not allowed to say, gosh, can you knock first? And so that teens can have boundaries too. All
right, before we go, we have one more step, and it's kind of deal with your own fears. Don't put them on your teen.
Absolutely, definitely. Just dealing with your own fears around their behavior, because most of the time you will freak out if they do something and then you react to it. And so again, you know, don't react, kind of pull back a little bit, and then hear them, what they have to say, and then ask a lot of questions so that they learn how to make decisions better.
All right, listening, I think, is key.
It's critical.
To learn more, everyone, all you have to do is go to empoweredteensandparents.com. You can check out the book there and learn more. All right.